Cleveland Browns fans, I have been sitting here staring at the calendar, and honestly, the anticipation for this summer is reaching a fever pitch. A report just landed regarding our upcoming training camp schedule that is going to shake up everything we thought we knew about our path to September. Between the looming question marks under center and the brutal competition heating up for those final roster spots, the stakes in Berea have never felt higher. I am genuinely dying to see who steps up when the pads finally pop. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop your name and city in the comments below. Let's dive into what this means for our squad. The Cleveland Browns have officially set the stage for our 2026 campaign, announcing the training camp schedule that will finally reveal who earns the right to lead this offense as the starting quarterback. This position has been a revolving door of hope and frustration for us for years, and whoever Todd Monken selects will carry the weight of a city desperate for sustained success after so many seasons of uncertainty. The news dropped this Monday confirming that activities begin July 31st at the Cross Country Mortgage Campus in Berea. We have a jam-packed slate starting with 2 initial practices, a short break, and then a massive 5-day stretch of intense competition from August 4th through August 9th, before wrapping up on August 12th. The gates open at 12:30 p.m. daily, allowing us to get up close to the action and witness the grit of every position battle firsthand. And honestly, the vibe in the Dawg Pound is already electric, because this schedule represents the true start of our path toward redemption. Fans are buzzing with a mix of nervous energy and pure excitement, knowing that every snap in Berea carries immense weight for our roster construction. We live for these summer days spent under the sun watching our team grind, and the accessibility of these open sessions gives us that unique connection to the players we root for every Sunday. The bottom line here is that the coaching staff has a massive job ahead to finalize this 53-man roster before the regular season kicks off. We have been waiting all offseason for these concrete details, and now that the dates are locked in, the anticipation for seeing our new look offense on the field is officially at an all-time high for every single one of us. The truth is, this pivotal training camp arrives after a tumultuous offseason defined by massive salary cap restructuring and a desperate need for offensive consistency under new head coach Todd Monken. We are staring at a roster that currently carries over $30 million in dead money, a direct result of past personnel blunders that forced the front office to move on from aging veterans. Historically, we know the Browns have struggled with quarterback stability, and the ghost of the 2021 season still haunts this facility when injuries derailed our playoff aspirations early. With the current signal callers facing immense pressure to prove their worth before their guaranteed money dries up next year, the competition is not just for a starting job, but for their very careers. The front office is likely viewing these sessions as a final filter to identify which contracts are assets and which are sunken costs. They need to see if the investment in young receivers pays off or if we are heading toward another overhaul. Remember back in 2018 when the competition felt this wide open? That uncertainty eventually fueled a spark that reignited the Dawg Pound. Now, Monken is preaching a system that relies on high-velocity decision-making, and if the current group cannot master his scheme during these open practices, expect general management to hunt for outside help before Week 1. And I cannot stress this enough, the decision-makers are currently analyzing every single snap with the cold eyes of professionals who know the fan base will not tolerate another year of mediocrity. Every dropped pass or missed read during these August sessions will be magnified under the lens of a franchise that has spent too much capital for too little progress. We need this transition to be seamless if we want to compete in this division. What makes this even bigger is that we are staring down a critical juncture where the 2026 season trajectory is truly forged in the Ohio heat. We need these open practices to settle the quarterback uncertainty because the current ambiguity creates a massive ripple effect across our salary cap and final roster depth. Every snap taken in Berea determines whether we carry extra dead weight or solidify a championship-caliber lineup, and that flexibility dictates our ability to sign late-stage veterans who could push us over the top. If we fail to establish a clear leader at the helm during this window, our offensive rhythm will be disjointed when we face high-octane defenses like Kevin Stefanski's Falcons or the aggressive schemes coming out of the AFC North. These training sessions are not just about individual improvement, but about building the chemistry necessary to dismantle the Bengals and finally secure a division title. Think about it this way. Our playoff aspirations hinge on how quickly our new starters internalize Coach Todd Monken's complex playbook. If we falter in these drills, the margin for error against elite coaching staffs shrinks to almost nothing. Every rep by our special teams and every intense scrimmage session directly impacts our efficiency in close contests, where field position is the difference between a triumphant victory and a soul-crushing defeat. The Dawg Pound deserves a team that arrives in September with a cohesive identity, not a squad still struggling to define its own hierarchy. We have the talent, but this summer is where we prove we possess the discipline to outwork the rest of the league. If we can sharpen our focus during this short training window, we will certainly be the team to beat when the real action begins this fall, shifting the power dynamic firmly back into our hands where it belongs. The most compelling argument for this condensed, high-intensity training camp is that it forces our roster to achieve chemistry under pressure before the starters are even decided. By compressing the primary evaluation period into that 5-day stretch from August 4th through August 9th, Coach Todd Monken creates a controlled crucible that mimics game speed intensity, which is exactly what this team needs to accelerate development and establish a firm identity. However, the downside is equally significant because such a truncated timeline risks player fatigue or potential injuries during the most critical evaluation phase. If our key depth pieces go down before the preseason even begins, we could be left scrambling to fill gaps while other teams are already finalizing their schemes. League insiders and analysts, including folks tracking moves by teams like the Atlanta Falcons under Kevin Stefanski, have questioned whether a shortened window gives new coaching staffs enough data to make informed 53-man roster cuts. What nobody is talking about is how these specific dates might limit the reps required for our younger prospects to truly shine. And I'll be straight with you, I actually favor this aggressive approach. The way I see it, if you cannot prove you deserve a jersey in a focused, high-intensity week, you probably won't be ready when the real lights turn on in September anyway. We need players who can lock in instantly, and this schedule filters out the noise early. It is about finding the guys who have that championship mindset while keeping the rest of the locker room hungry for their chance to contribute. Ultimately, the Dawg Pound expects excellence, and if we want to compete at the highest level this year, we have to demand that standard of play from the very first whistle in Berea this July. The bottom line here is that these upcoming sessions at the Cross Country Mortgage campus are about much more than just a few reps in the summer heat. This represents a critical pivot point for our franchise direction over the next several seasons as we determine if the current roster construction can finally evolve into a perennial championship contender under the leadership of Todd Monken. We should feel a genuine sense of excitement and cautious optimism heading into this year, because the competition for the starting quarterback role serves as a foundational litmus test for our future success. Having a clear, merit-based path to determine who leads the offense signals a mature, accountability-driven approach that has been missing during recent cycles. As Cleveland Browns fans, we have every reason to believe that the hard-nosed culture being built in Berea will translate to the gridiron when the games actually count. Watching these position battles unfold is the best way to understand our identity, and the intensity we expect to see from late July through mid-August is exactly what will separate the contenders from the rest of the league. Think about it this way, when we see guys fighting for their professional lives, it forces the entire unit to level up, which elevates our overall ceiling for the 2026 campaign. Now, I want to hear from all of you regarding this crucial stretch of football. Which specific position battle are you most anxious to watch live in Berea this summer? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below so we can keep the discussion going. If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Dawg Pound. I'll see you in the next one.